Good morning, Vietnam. Equestria Daily. Calpain here, along with Phoe. Say hello, Phoe.
Hello, Phoe.
And today we've got an interview lined up for your ears to soak in and enjoy. Joining us today are Care.
How you doing?
Wendy.
Hi.
And Cupcakes.
Hello there.
These guys are the three pony fans who worked on Enterplay's official Friendship is Magic trading cards that we've been teasing you with recently on the site. We're going to be asking them some questions about themselves, the cards, and the meaning of life itself. It's going to be an exciting ride. First off, you guys, let's hear a little bit about yourselves. What might bronies know you for already, and how did you get involved in this project? Have you ever done anything like this before?
Okay, I guess I'll start with this one. Basically, my name is Wendy. I am not really a huge presence in the brony community. I started as a G1, G3 collector and got involved with bronies about a year ago, actually, when I attended the first BronyCon. I ended up becoming the co-founder of Boston Bronies Group and moved on to be the logo designer for BronyCon September, as well as BronyCon January, and have almost finished my responsibilities as design coordinator for the upcoming BronyCon summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How does the brony community compare to G1, G3 collecting stuff?
It's faster. It's a lot faster and very vocal and very active. I don't know. My involvement in the G1, G3 collecting community was really, really passive, but with the advent of bronies, I feel like I've been able to actually do a lot more, make a lot more, focus on things other than toys. Like, I really enjoy all the music and all the art that comes out of it. It's just coming out at such a quick pace. I don't know, I really enjoy it.
How about you, Care?
Okay, I'll go next. Well, I've been a pony fan since 2001. I met Wendy through a toy collecting board that we both frequent.
Woohoo, Trading Post!
Yes, the Trading Post, where I was a moderator for several years. I do a podcast sometimes on Fridays called My Little Pony Talk. That's all about the toys and toy collecting, older generations mainly. In the brony community, you might know me from the Bronies NYC meetup group. Me and Kez are the co-organizers of the relaunched group. And if you're coming to BronyCon this weekend, you will see me in the Artist's Alley. I am the head of vendor relations. In short, I run the Artist's Alley. I'll be there liaisoning between the talent and the venue. And I'll also have a booth there, and I make custom ponies. So you might know me for that.
Her customs are amazing. I highly recommend going and checking them out if you're going.
I do stuffed dolls, and I paint customs. I refurbish old customs, and I'm known for my monsters. I do Mexican Day of the Dead inspired ponies. I do horror movie characters. And I'll be sharing a booth with another girl who created a line of toys called My Little Demon. So we'll stand out in between all the main six, fabulousness and other Friendship is Magic. You'll see our booth is going to be a little dark.
It sounds highly worth checking out.
Definitely. That's quite the skill set you have there.
That's just one reason why everyone should come to BronyCon. The other one is these cards. You realize that they're going to be shown at BronyCon before anywhere else, before they come to stores or are seen anywhere. You'll be able to see the entire set.
You'll be able to buy boxes and packs.
I can't
Another
wait.
reason to come to BronyCon.
Okay.
And how about you, Cupcakes?
I'm a writer. The story I would most be known for is Shutdown from a few months ago. Recently put Zagorida's Ponyville on Equestria Daily. I'm a pre-reader, but I'm on hiatus from that right now because I'm running registration and charity for BronyCon, and it's kind of hard to handle several hundred emails a day. I'll stick to dozens of emails a day. I founded the Humble Brony Bundle.
I didn't
awesome.
know that. I didn't know that.
That's charity pony.
I am biased. I think other ones are better, but I guess
Still a very
on.
noble cause.
Yeah.
Very noble
Cubs
cause.
is a powerhouse.
I'm
Certainly
glad
Seth's
to be
favorite
part of it.
charity.
That's good to hear.
Okay, so
Well, we appreciate you guys doing that.
Mm-hmm.
that's all very awesome. But how did you guys first come into contact with Enterplay? Was there any sort of a selection process? And
well, there wasn't exactly a selection process. It's somewhat of an interesting story. I really, really, really want to be a toy designer. Like, with the announcement of Friendship is Magic, when Lauren Faust announced that on her DeviantArt, something clicked inside me, and I realized, she's doing what I want to be doing. This is the path that I want to go down. So I started figuring out what I could possibly do to get into the industry. So this was actually my second year attending the International Toy Fair in New York City in February. I wore a suit and looked all professional, went out with my professional networking group, walked the floor, and tried to find people who, might possibly want me. I was walking around, and I admit I was sort of looking for My Little Pony licensees because I knew that this was becoming a really big thing, and, I was curious. And I happened to walk by Enterplay's booth, and I saw that they had a nice big My Little Pony picture, that they were going to be doing these My Little Pony trading cards. So, obviously, I wanted to know more. So I approached the booth, and I started talking to them. And what they had, it looked like they had packs of cards, but they were actually just concept pieces. They hadn't actually started putting them all together yet. And so I was interested, but the president wasn't there at the time. So I ended up coming back another day and essentially singing My Little Pony praises to him for about half an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was really enthusiastic about my enthusiasm. It was great. Like, you could tell he was taking mental notes on, everything I was saying, and it was just incredible. I felt like a total dork doing it, but I couldn't stop. It was great. And I was like, well, if you need any help, please contact me. And he's like, you know what? I think I will. So that was in mid-February. Mm-hmm. Cut to the end of March. It's maybe a week and a half before I'm planning to leave the country to go to Japan to, work on a path to get into design school so I can be a toy designer with, practical training. And I get this email. I'm at my grandparents' house in Florida, and I get this email from the president of Enterplay. He wants to know if I want to help with the My Little Pony card line. I'm like, yes? Yes, I want to help. Of course I want to help. I mean, hello, who wouldn't? So we start negotiating that, and then I continue my little family tour or whatever, and I end up in New York. And we're busy, sort of ironing out the details. What exactly is it that they need? What are they trying to accomplish with this line? And I'm like, wow, this is a lot of stuff. And they ask me, do you have any friends who you think would be able to help? And I'm like, friends who would be able to turn out professional quality My Little Pony cards, people who know My Little Pony inside and out, people who can express this pony knowledge in a fun way, people who are also in touch with fans. Well, if we're going to do that, I need to talk to someone who's way more connected with the community than I am. So, of course, the first person who came to mind was Care. I know she's been in the game a really long time. She is super popular. She's just wonderful. So I was like, Care, do you know anyone? And so she responds to me, and she's like, well, myself. Because, I wrote the My Little Pony Trading Post frequently asked questions page and some other stuff. And maybe Cupcakes? I'm like, Cupcakes. I have met him in passing through our group organizer roles. I don't know him all that well, but if you say that he's the guy for the job, I'm going to trust you. So basically, fan involvement with this project, it was a lot of people taking a lot of chances on people they hadn't worked with before, but it happened and it worked.
Wow, That's quite a story. That sounds incredibly serendipitous and awesome. And
it was entirely serendipitous.
If I may say so, it's pretty cool that this gets to be your breakthrough in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't have asked anything better. I'm so excited.
Wendy, I have a question. Was it your idea to put that survey out on the internet for the fandom to answer regarding the cards?
That was definitely something that came up during one of the first phone calls with Enterplay. Like, basically, they called me and we talked for about an hour about what exactly it was that we wanted to accomplish, what they wanted to accomplish with the line, what they wanted the fans to do, how they wanted to target the cards at the fans. Basically, they felt that by appealing to the quote-unquote brony demographic, that the target demographic of little girls would automatically follow because they'd be smart and fun. Which, I mean, they told this to me at Toy Fair, and I thought that was great. I'm like, yes, you guys totally have the right idea. To answer that question, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that the survey was their idea. I was the one who told them, you should really advertise this on Equestria Daily, otherwise no one is going to see it. So they knew that they wanted fan input from the start. The survey was their idea.
I filled that survey out, it was maybe a week before you texted me about this project.
Yeah.
And I remember filling out that survey and saying, wow, this just came out of nowhere. For once, a toy company is looking for input from older fans, not parents, not little kids, but older fans. And I just think that's so awesome. And I filled out that survey at length. I used extra paper. I put lots and lots of notes and put my contact info, too, for good measure. And I said, I've been around these toys for as long as I can remember, as long as I've had internet. I've been a fan, and I totally have a handle on, what kids want and what, adult collectors want, and just get in touch with me. And then sure enough, you got in touch with me. And so I jumped on the chance. I was like, who would be good for it? I don't know, me? How about me? I had seen you at every pony fair, the toy collectors convention that moves around the country. We're always running into each other at places like the Pony Project and the Toy Fair. And you knew that I had, done, on my real job, the one that pays the bills, I had worked with Hasbro, and I knew that we were trying to do the same thing. I said, this is amazing. We have to collaborate on this. Oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh, oh, my gosh.
I mean, when you mentioned yourself, I was like, duh, of course. I'm not sure I know anyone who knows as much about Pony as Care.
But who knows about writing other than, let's see, the pre-reader for Equestria Daily, or the guy that wrote, so many cool fanfic stories. A guy I've known for a couple of years now in the New York City local fandom. Cupcakes was the first person, the only person that popped into my mind. When it involved writing, I said, we have to get him. He's such a detail guy.
It was funny. I was at work and I got a text and it just said, I think I should have saved it, but it was basically along the lines of, OMG, so exciting, call me ASAP. And I'm like, right now? I was like, yes! So I took a break, stepped outside and called, and you were, I think you probably were bouncing while we were talking.
I remember it very well. It was a very happy day.
Yeah, I remember I was sitting in my uncle's podiatry office with the door closed, with his computer, just texting and IMing and just everything, trying to get everything coordinated. It was actually a pretty nice rolly chair. I felt really professional.
Right, so once you assembled this all-star lineup, what sorts of things were you asked of by Enterplay? What were your roles in getting the cards to their current look and feel?
Well, when we first started, my role, it felt like was going to be more along the lines of just, here's how many characters, or how many, letters and spaces, characters, that sense of characters we want on each card. And, what kind of cards do you think will fit in the line that fit, what kind of which characters in the show should we have? Which places should we have? Stuff like that. But it quickly realized that they didn't take the whole title of writer as, you know, your sole responsibility. We were brought on as consultants, and it was a really, really great professional two-way street relationship we had. I mean, as soon as I had been brought in, one of the first things I saw was this epic, like 3 or 4 page email from Wendy laying out, like, you know, you could just, here's the plan for an entire card line. You could just use this. It was great. And from there, their response was like, wow, Wendy, this is amazing. And from there, all of us worked together to really decide what kind of cards would even exist. I mean, Wendy, they took your suggestions on what even types of cards to make, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, what I had initially compiled was, okay, well, if you're going to make character cards, these are the kind of character cards that I think fans would really respond to. If you're going to do locations within Ponyville, then these are the big locations, and these are the kind of ponies that hang out there. If you're going to do scenes, oh man, that scene list. Oh God, compiling that scene list. That scene comes for later.
So many scenes.
That right there was my flight to Japan.
They weren't even sure if they were going to put songs on cards. And
it's true. They weren't sure if they were going to do cards on songs, and all of us were just like, songs need to happen. Songs are just such a big part of what we love about this show. You just can't skip them.
One thing that isn't... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
One thing that isn't in the previews is puzzle, I think that's what they're called, is puzzle sets, right? Where it's either 2x3 or...
puzzle sets.
Yeah, 2x3 or 3x3. Basically, you collect all 6 or all 9 of them to actually put them in a binder or lay them out and make the picture. And, you know, they weren't really sure if they were going to do it. They weren't sure which iconic images from the show would really fit. And, you know, they might not even have made them if it hadn't been for our input and support.
Yeah, I do believe that Equestria Daily mentioned that they were going to do a 6-card Discord puzzle set. That was totally my idea.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, we basically got to shape the entire card set.
That's awesome.
What they sent me was, well, this is a list of characters that Hasbro thinks that maybe we should include, and locations and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not a bad list, but maybe if you tried this. And then luckily everyone seemed to agree with me, so I guess I understand ponies a decent amount.
So they were very flexible then.
So flexible. They were just so thrilled that we were so enthusiastic about helping with the line.
Yeah, if it isn't clear, they didn't bring us on just to have like the by fans, for fans stamp on the project. They actually cared. And one of the early things I heard from them is, if we make this good enough for the adult fans, then it'll already be more than good enough for the quote-unquote target audience of young girls. So why aim our sights low?
That's amazing. I like that kind of openness from companies like that. Hopefully it means there'll be more, you know, collaboration with the fans in the future.
Hope so.
We can only hope.
But, guys, now that the work is done with these cards, how do you feel about how it all came out? Are you guys satisfied? Were there any sacrifices you had to make?
More than satisfied. Just from these preview pics, you know, these little snippets and peaks that they're showing every day, I am over the moon with how good they look.
I am super thrilled because, I mean, yes, this is text that we put on there. It was deemed official enough by Hasbro that we could actually, you know, make these real pony cards. We could actually help shape the My Little Pony world, because what Enterplay really likes to do, what they were telling me, is that they really like to build the world, to expand the world. So you're going to see some background ponies that maybe didn't get named in the show, that maybe have fan names. Maybe you'll get to see those. Maybe you'll get more information on what goes on in these locations in Ponyville. Things like that. We got to help with that. We got to provide that extra insight. That was so cool. And what is really interesting is that when I mentioned to them that there were all these stock vectors that kept popping up that looked completely off-model, and that fans groaned whenever they saw them, that they should maybe try to not use those. They listened and took all the card images straight from the show.
Oh.
Yeah, they weren't working with any stock, and they actually went through each episode, watched each episode, and looked for scenes and pictures that they thought would work really well, would look really nice on cards.
There is just so much in this set. I cannot wait for Saturday. This set has all of my want. Whether I worked on it or not, I want it. I need it.
Yeah.
I'm throwing money at the computer right now to coin a phrase. But wait till you see. The art on it is gorgeous. The writing is funny. The characters that they chose, from what I can tell, is just so great. There's so much in it.
Well, you hear that, guys? It seems like this is a winning endorsement from the very people that design these things.
Squee!
Yeah, when you sit down to help write on a project like this, and you're told, well, they're going to make a sea serpent card, and you're like, well, no one really knows him as Sea Serpent. What are you going to do? And you get, you sneak in magnetic personality for Stephen Magnet, and you just hope that it's going to fly. You have to, you never know. You never know if Hasbro is going for some silly legal reason. It's not their fault. I blame lawyers. It's so easy to blame lawyers. You never know what's going to happen. And then you see the final product still has those little nods you snuck in there. Yeah, there's you have to say there's at least a dozen direct fandom nods that we submitted.
Some of them are really, really direct, and that just makes them all the more amazing.
So
a lot of the fandom is like,
true.
It's almost like code words, things that we say to each other, these in-jokes and things you'd have to watch the show and read Brony media to get. And it's in there, and it's straight humor, and it's hysterical. It's fun to read. If you're a fan, you're going to love it. If you're not a fan, you'll still be amused. You might even become a fan.
So funny. Yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like it should go without saying that the community ought to be really, really excited about these. But given that, I know that you guys don't necessarily know the final release of cards. Is there any...
Nope. They haven't told us the final release. That's why I can't wait for Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the whole set.
Are there any cards that you submitted that are ones you're particularly hoping made the cut? Come on, give us some sneaks and...
Well, Wendy, you can.
About.
Wendy, you should probably beat around the bush about your attempt at naming a pony.
Go make people drool.
Oh, yes. I might have tried to name a pony, but I don't know if that's going to actually happen. But if it does, then I've named a pony.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and you all will see, and you all will be so shocked. There's
a background pony who's fairly popular, but definitely has a name that is never, ever going to fly. And I won't even say any more than that, except for the fact that if the name does get accepted, I think the overwhelming majority of fans are going to be like, that was a really good name choice. Thank you. Because if we have to have an official name, that's a good one to go with. And that also, I would not only would I be so happy for you, because I'd be much happier for you, but I'm also a little proud of the nerdy reference I snuck onto the card as long as I kept it.
Oh, you really did.
All right,
well, we'll see. Time will tell.
Time will tell, and time is ticking down.
Yeah, it is. So close.
There's a bit
close.
A bit of fun to wrap up, since we do know the 10 that they have chosen as sneak previews. Which among those are your favorites? And
Discord.
All right then. I don't believe we've done that yet.
Please edit that out.
Well, it's not like this is going to air. So this whole part's being edited out, right?
Oh, not at all. This part we're keeping.
Great.
Tomorrow's reveal. That will be, I think, my favorite. And Wendy's favorite. They're all my favorite. It's just different degrees of favoritism that I'm showing.
Yes. I mean, out of the 10 that have been revealed, the only one that I actually wrote, because I didn't actually get to write cards until theme cards came around because I was so busy trying to get settled with life in a new country. Only one of the ones that I wrote got revealed. And I do like that card. It was really fun. But, there are a lot of favorites. Man. I mean, there's one that's coming up that hasn't been revealed yet that I think fans are totally going to flip over. And I'm totally looking forward to everyone's reaction on that. But, out of the ones that have already been revealed, they're all so good.
I see what you did there.
I can't pick. What, I gave a really, really obtuse answer?
People are going to flip for it.
Yeah, they're going to flip.
Okay.
Hopefully,
I like the scene cards because scene cards, while there's no necessarily any ponies in the scene, it's just a setting. My head canon just goes to work, and my head fills up with all these different scenes that take place in that setting. So, for example, the day spa, I like that card, even though it's not, full of pony. It's full of potential, and I had fun writing it. So that one I'm very partial to. Some of the song cards I'm very partial to because, well, let's face it, I'm a brony. I sing pony music all day long. I want that. It's just the right size to fit in my wallet when I need a dose of pony. I can whip out certain song card and just say, oh, yeah, happy day, and then put it back in there next to my credit card, driver's license, and gym membership card,
Of all the cards that have been revealed, the Day Spa is definitely my favorite. Actually, I just love the way that that Kara managed to sneak in Aloe and Lotus on the card. But the favorite of the reveals comes out tomorrow, and it's background ponies. But of the ones that we submitted, I think one of the ones I'm most excited about, because I think the fandom will want to all run and hug us, is as long as it was accepted, there are 2 background ponies that have never been seen on screen together that both are often put together in fandom stuff, and one does not have an official name yet. And if they made that card and put her name on the card, it's canonized, thanks to Enterplay and us saying 3 times, yes, this really should be a card. Yes, this really, really should be a card. Trust us, we know what we're doing.
Oh, I know exactly which card you're talking about. Yes.
If that comes out, it might not necessarily be my favorite writing-wise because it doesn't have any silly jokes on it that I am overly proud of for no reason. But if it happens, it's going to be one of the crowning achievements of them getting pony fans to help with the project.
Incredibly exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's, I think I have an idea of what you're talking about, and I really hope that comes to pass, because that would be awesome.
We need to be purposely obtuse about this. We can't just be like, okay, here's all the cards that we wrote, and here's everything that we put into it. There has to be some surprise.
Really
it wouldn't be fun if you weren't cavalier about it.
It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't a surprise. You have to wait and see.
Yeah, you got to leave them drooling for something, right?
I'm drooling right now, and I know what they are.
I know.
All right, guys. To finish up for today, one last question. So now that everything's done and everything, what's your memories from working on this project? What makes you just sit back and just think, this was a good project?
I remember one of my first mornings one of my first days working on this. I was up from 8 p.m. till 5 in the morning, just writing and writing and writing and writing and writing. And I drank an entire 2-liter of some caffeinated soda. And then at 4:45, I sit back in my chair and I look, and I'd written 24 cards that after a couple edits, after a couple, editing runs through the whole set, because I guess I was the main editor of the team before their Enterplay has an on-site editor just to make sure it fits in the card and to see if there's anything that they need to change for whatever reason. I sat back in my chair and I just wrote 24 official cards, and it really sunk in, and I passed out.
Oh, wow.
For me, I think the best memory was similar to Cupcakes' memory. I had spent about 8 hours that day writing, and at one point I selected all the text and changed the font to, I have this font that looks like Equestria lettering. And when it changed font, all of a sudden it became very real to me, very fast. It looked real on the paper. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm actually a consultant for a real project that Hasbro is endorsing, licensing, and this is coming out. I'm doing real pony stuff. And I grinned so hard that my face cracked. It was just explosion. I think I called Cupcakes at that point, and I was like, how you doing? And just talked ponies with him for an hour on the phone.
Oh, yep. That was immediately before I spent those 9 hours writing. So your energy transferred.
Time.
Mm-hmm. And
Okay.
Wendy, for you, is it the pony who has not yet been named?
The best memory, it's been really interesting because pretty much the entire time I was working on this project, I was in Japan, so I was completely disconnected from everyone else on the project. Like, physically, I could not just call up and be like, hey, how you doing? Because, I'm 13 hours ahead of everyone. But I kept getting all these emails, and I saw this whole collaborative document coming together. And then, because we were making these cards before the season finale had aired, the script showed up in my inbox. And I was like, oh my God, I'm on the inside. I am actually on the inside doing official pony stuff. What is this? This is great. I don't know, that was it for me, I guess.
I forgot all about that. And then
How did you forget? That was
How
so
could you
cool.
forget that?
I know.
I had the wedding screening party to organize with the New York meetup, and,
Oh, yeah.
and I knew how the finale was going to end, and no one else did, and it was all I could do to just contain my excitement.
I know. I mean, for that, I was so glad that I was in Japan because I couldn't just, go and blab to someone.
Yeah, I
That
couldn't.
was so hard.
I was telling people there are between 0 and 99 songs. That's all I can say. But not being able to say how many songs there are, not being able to say that there's a villain. Everyone, this was, if you guys think back, Wendy, you were so busy. I don't know if you had any time to be in touch with the community at that point. But that whole week before the episodes aired, everyone was like, "Oh my God, is Discord back? Is Discord back?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
it gonna be
I
Discord?"
heard all the Discord stuff. I heard all the Discord stuff, and I was just like...
And I had to be like, I can neither confirm nor deny the presence of John Delancey.
Just bite your tongue.
Yeah, and that was probably the hardest part of the whole project, actually, was being like, I want to show this to everyone.
Yeah.
And I was so glad that one of the crew members blabbed that her name was Queen Chrysalis, because having that in the script and having an NDA saying that legally I can't tell anyone her name is Queen Chrysalis, I was going to... Yeah, and then I found out that it had been announced, and I was like, oh, thank goodness, because that name is awesome. And I heard that the designer, even because of the name, decided the whole creative process is amazing. The name was made up, and then the designer of the characters heard the name, and from there she designed the entire insectile, cocoons, buzzing wings, the whole thing, just from that name. So if there hadn't been that name, she wouldn't have been who she was. So I'm so glad the name got hit the fandom.
That is how Chrysalicious happened.
Well, there you go, guys. A tidbit on to the inside process. Thank you guys for sharing your memories with us. It sounds like it was a lot of fun.
Yep, and everyone who's wondering about you can't really fit everything in one card set. You're right. And last we've heard is that if enough cards sell, that there is the possibility of set 2. If you want to see that, I mean, I hate to be the used car salesman, but if the cards don't sell, there won't be a set 2. So buy 1,000 box. No, I'm good. But if they Enterplay has told us repeatedly how happy they were with us. I have no doubts that they would want to bring back up or more or other bronies. They don't want to have fans in the project. Period. So that's something to look forward to too.
That's
all right, so
wonderful.
you hear them, guys. Go out and buy some cards.
Revealing on Saturday if you're at BronyCon. Pick them up then.
I guess we can just about wrap this up now today.
Yeah,
definitely. Make sure to get your sets.
The way to get your exclusive foil card at BronyCon is just to go up to their booth and show them your badge. They'll put a little mark on the back of it, and they'll hand you a card. And that's going to be the only place to get them unless you end up winning one of the sweepstake cards and get the complete set.
I expect those cards are going to become extremely collectible instantly.
So get there soon, everybody.
And send your friends to get one for you.
Even if you don't want one, get it.
No, don't do
that. Guys.
No, don't do that.
Sorry, Calpain. Wrap us up.
It's all right. All right, guys. Thank you very much for taking your time out of your days for this. I know you all are in different time zones and everything, so it's been kind of crazy. But thank you all for giving us details on the process and on the cards coming out at BronyCon.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thanks so much.
And that's going to do it. For all of us here at Equestria Daily, Calpain and myself, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and thank you so much for contributing such an amazing project to the fandom. Thank you all out there who are listening for sticking with us and learning a little bit more about all this. And yeah, that's going to do it. So take care and good night. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.